Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where you'll notice this is a little bit different from last time, and that is because I had some inspiration while I was lying in bed this morning desperately trying not to get up, as you do, and I was like, I tried this with a hinge on it, but what if there was just like a bunch of struts holding it in place, and then in order to get the variable flight geometry, we just had to do a spacewalk and remove the struts. So that's the idea here, is actually I thought there was going to be a strut on the, on the outside over here. We don't necessarily want to be going prograde right now, but I thought there was a strut on the outside here. Maybe there is. I intended for there to be one right here, but apparently I don't visually see one right now. For the time being, let's have Bill EVA, and we're currently in orbit here. We're in an equatorial orbit, and Bill is going to EVA here. And we're going to convert this from launch profile into flight profile. So step one is going to be removing this strut that is centrally located there. It doesn't need to be anywhere in particular. I guess there is fine for right now. We're not going to want it there long term. Let's just remove this. We may ultimately want a storage space for these struts, but for now this will do. Let's just get ourselves brought on down. I don't like the idea of a spacewalk being required to do this, but if it's what's required, then I guess it's okay. Yeah, that'll do for now. And we'll just hop on over this direction and grab that guy. There we go. And I don't like that connection. Okay, we'll just do this for now. That'll be fine. We technically don't need these struts any longer. But right now, I want to swap back over and see, are we strutted still? There might still be a strut in the top here. No, we're good. Okay. So now I want to re-strut this back into its position here. Okay, looks good. So we'll just do something like that and make sure that that's strutted together. And we've got ourselves our variable flight geometry. Like I said, I don't love the fact that this requires a spacewalk to get it done. That didn't go super well. Okay, let's just move this on over here. I don't love the fact that this requires a spacewalk. Can we not be welding right now? Thank you, Bill. Okay. I want this over here will do. Cool. And then we'll put on our strut over here as well. Something kind of like that. Okay, so now we are in orbital mode. So let's see how we do on attitude holding with this new setup. We are going to have less delta V than with our previous setup because these motors are less efficient. That's okay. It's about 1,000 delta V less. I'm not too concerned about that. We've got plenty for right now. So I want to set the Mir core module as our target, and then around over, we need to pin this guy open. Around over here, we'll add our maneuver to match planes here. Other direction. Thank you very much. So we'll bring this right on around. I don't know what this timing is going to look like, but probably not great if I had to guess. So we're just bringing this around and matching the planes here. Yeah, the timing is not phenomenal. So I think for now, we're just going to bring this right on down to be somewhere around here-ish. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so then we'll look for some timing. So let's align ourselves to the node. The real question here is, with this tank attached, how are we going to do on holding attitude? I don't know the answer to that one just yet. That's going to be interesting for sure. With the tank attached, it could be kind of anything in terms of holding attitude. So that's the real question right now, but with the tank detached, we'll hold attitude no problem. We may have to go on lower thrust to weight. We'll see how that ends up going. For now, let's bring this right on around. And we'll position for this burn. Beautiful. So it's going to be about a 2,000 meter per second burn. We do have about 3,000 here, so we should have plenty of delta V to make this all happen. Not too concerned about that. And this burn is going to start in 40 seconds, 30, 20, 10, and 3, 2, 1. I'm going to try it full thrust. Okay. Full thrust isn't going to work. Gotcha. Let's bring this right on around. Reposition ourselves. Yeah, we're a little late here. That's understood. So full thrust isn't going to work with the tank attached. So one thing we can definitely try is thrust limiting these down to 10%. So let's try at 10% thrust here. And we really should probably, at this point, delay this in orbit. So if I can press the button, I guess I'll do it here. Okay. We'll warp this right on around. We'll delay it in orbit, and we'll try it at 10% thrust. Let's see how it feels at 10%. This is going to be a fairly long burn at 10% thrust, but that's okay. We can bring this back up for thrust to weight once we ditch the orange tank if we feel like it. But for now, we'll see if we can hold attitude at 10. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. We're having a hard time holding attitude at 10% thrust. Yeah, we're still pushing out here. That said, we're holding here. We're heading back. It appears to possibly be under control-ish. Ish. Let's physics warp this and see what happens. Okay. 10% thrust seems to be reasonably acceptable. Beautiful. So we need to burn out the fuel in the big orange tank. Once that's done, we can unthrust limit these if we so desire. For now, I don't know that we do desire. This is going to be our big burn, and we only really need the one burn. So that's going to be interesting for sure. We're going to be ditching this tank shortly. And we might want to change its attach point. But for right now, let's make our way on out of here if we can. I'm going to detach it. There we go. And we're out of here. Goodbye, tank. Phenomenal. Okay, so our thrust to weight is much higher now. And that's great. Yeah, this is reasonable. I think this is absolutely reasonable. We can always increase this thrust if we want to. This one's at 10.5. That might actually be the reason why we veered off at first. Let's bring that down to 10. There we go. Phenomenal. So, looking at our overall orbit here, it's going to be like half a degree off. That's close enough. It's definitely close enough. Remember, we can refuel once we get to the station. We're currently pushing our periapsis back out at this stage of the burn. So that's good. We are going to have a little bit less delta V than I had assumed that we're going to have. That's probably due to some gimbaling inefficiencies, if I had to guess. So that's definitely noted. So launching into the correct trajectory would, be smart. We should probably think about doing that in the future. For now, let's bring this right on around. This is good enough. So currently 2.1 degrees is our ascending descending node. Okay. Our apoapsis is pushed out further than expected as well. Let's hop over to retrograde for right now. Dial that back just a little bit. Okay. Now we could think about pushing prograde out over here. And the question is, when would we want to do this? Okay. Awkward timing is awkward. We are in a more elliptical orbit than expected. I mean, honestly, eventually we should just see ourselves very close here. It would be about here. That's interesting. We would need to bring it around this direction. And we'd be angling for this intersect up here. Relative speed of 300 meters per second is quite a lot. No doubt about that, but this is kind of decent as far as an intersect goes. I'm not sure about fuel levels. Fuel levels could be exciting here. But we'll see. That's only an 18-second burn. So launching into the correct trajectory would definitely be extraordinarily helpful for us in terms of delta V amounts. There's no doubt about that. Let's bring this around. And I'm not going to increase the thrust limiter. I think we're absolutely fine on our thrust to weight here. So let's bring this over 30 seconds, 20, 10, and 0. Okay, so we're burning. This is going to be a relatively short burn, and then the actual burn to bring us into the station is going to be interesting. We don't have any RCS on this. We might want to bring the station into the shuttle. I don't know. It would be... That might actually be the best way to go, because without RCS on this, we're going to have like a parallel docking. That's something we should definitely look into on future iterations. So at this point, we're going to warp to about here. We need to go to target relative velocity minus. And we'll have to do some braking burns here. We've got a decent amount of delta V for maneuvering, so that's fine. So we're just going to want to push this node over this direction, right? So we're going to go over to Killrot, and we're going to position ourselves somewhere around over here-ish to do a little bit of both braking and correcting our target. So this is a corrective burn here. We've got about 500 meters per second to go overall. We're just keeping this in sight. Okay. Something approximately like that. It'll require more correction later on, but something approximately like that. Okay, looks good. So we can see that the station itself is right there, about 30 kilometers away. We are currently heading in at about 2.9 kilometer distance. We're still moving at a pretty decent relative speed. So let's do another corrective burn here. Bringing this over to... I want to check our relative orbit here. Yep. Bring this over to about here. Fantastic. So fuel is definitely a concern launching into this orbit. That said, we're not going to be launching necessarily into this orbit in the future. So that's fine. This is the only time we have to go into this particular orbit, and then we'll be going to the ISS, which I believe is a easier orbit to get to. So the space shuttle shouldn't have a significant issue with that. Re-entry might still be a problem. We'll see. So we're going to continue to warp forward here. We're about 77 meters per second apart right now. We just physics loaded this, so let's get ourselves another corrective burn going on over here. We'll just push that right on in. There we go. About 35 meters per second apart. We've still got 250 to work with. Again, we can refuel from the station for our return trip, and we shouldn't need all that much, in theory, for our return trip. We'll figure out exactly how much we need. Okay, so we're about 900 meters out right now. We are moving relatively quickly. I'm going to decelerate us here. Okay, down to around 10 meters per second. There we go. And we need to figure out where this module actually attaches to. I had that figured out at one point, but we've had some distractions since then, no doubt about that. Okay. So at this point, we are going to just continue to bring this on in. We're going to have to change the orientation of the station almost certainly here. Let's continue to decelerate. We're about 10 meters per second apart right now, and let's bring that on in. Okay, so I think we wanted to be attached to whichever one of these actually had a docking adapter attached to it. I forget which one it was. I don't think it was this one. I don't think it was this one. I think it was this far one. So for the time being, I'm looking at our current trajectory and thinking this is probably reasonably fine to overshoot. So we overshoot a little bit here. Let's kill that relative velocity. Yeah, we want to be over here. Okay, so let's just orient ourselves right like that. We'll just sit on kill rot for the moment. Let's deploy our cargo bay. And at this point, I want to let this guy go. So we're just going to target angle 0 here. We're going to arm our grabbing unit. Then we're going to decouple this. So this is going to be, let's see, this is actually docked on here. No, we want to, I think, decouple this. Okay, so that's there right now. Now we want to grab it with this arm. So we're going to bring this, ooh, hang on, let it float on up. There we go. Now we're going to head over to 90. And now we're going to extend the arm on out. That did not actually grab. Okay. That's mildly awkward. Let's change up our angle a little bit here. And our rotation on over. We're just kind of pushing it at this moment, but we need to reach out and grab it if we can. If we can. Okay. This is not going too well. Let's have Bill EVA and give us a hand. So, Bill, I want you to head on out here and make sure that this is correctly grabbed. I definitely intended for this to be grabbed a little bit easier than that. Probably should have grabbed it before decoupling it. Lesson learned on that one. So we're just going to push this back over this way a little bit and just try to arrest this tumbling momentum just a smidge. Okay, now it's going a little too down. There we go. Something kind of like that. It might be a little too up at the moment. Okay. So we'll do that for right now, and we'll try to grab this guy by moving it over, and then it's currently basically still. Okay, let's retract the arm a bit. Let's rotate this over ever so slightly. This direction. There we go. And let's gently grab it. Do we need to rotate more? I think we need to rotate more. Okay. So let's just very gently grab on. There we go. We got it. Phenomenal. Bill, I'm going to need you to hop back in. Not to the station. I need you to hop back into the shuttle. Thank you very much. So he's going to head right on back up. And we need to, of course, dock this guy on up, right? So first things first, we're going to need to flip the shuttle over. That's not a problem. So we'll grab this, and we will board. We're going to need to flip the shuttle over. Something like that. There we go. Now we're going to need to hop over to the station and point this docking controller, or this docking port, rather. I want to point that right up over here, right? So we're going to set as target, and we're going to point at target. Now, this thing isn't the solidest. We don't have, like, struts and stuff, but with only the one reaction wheel running, it should be reasonably okay. So we're going to let that go for the moment, and we're just going to bring this target angle on down. There we go. And of course, we've got this at a bit of a jaunty angle. So we're going to want to change that up a bit. We're also going to need to extend this out as much as possible. But this is the furthest reach that we have, right? So we're going to hop on over here, but I want to align this to be a bit more like that. Actually, let's utilize our rotation arm here. So we've got this guy here. I want to bring this down so that we are compensating for this angle a bit. Oh, this is not what I wanted. I wanted the hinge. Come here, hinge. Fantastic. So I want to be compensating for this angle a wee bit. And I want to rotate that to go... Okay, we kind of need this to be rotating the other direction, don't we? So we want to rotate this around like that. And yeah, I see the station kind of bobbing underneath us there. It's mildly awkward, to be sure. Okay, you know what? Let's just bring it over this direction. Cool. So we're going to need to head this, not that way, this way a bit. Come on, station. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to hop into here, and we're going to freeze the physics. There we go. Next, I'm going to come in here. I want to control from here. And this is set as target, so I want to point towards target. There we go. Ooh, that's swinging wildly all over. Freezing the physics. Okay, freezing the physics again. We're just going to have to leave that be. This is too unstable, so that's fine for the time being. We're going to then RCS on. Okay, RCS is not helpful here. RCS, please stop jiggling all over. Okay, we're going to need to bring this in a little bit. This direction. Okay. Just adjusting the momentum here a bit. Okay. Bring this down. Oh, this is a small docking port. We're actually backwards here. Hang on. Okay. Freezing the physics. Cool. So we're actually backwards here. That means that we need to flip this right on around. So let's hop on over to the shuttle. Flip this right on around. Oh boy. Okay. Please stop. I want to control from here. There we go. Now we flip it around. Perfect. Wait a second. Huh. I did this wrong then. Because we don't have a way to dock up to this then. That's fine for the future. That's fine for the future. Okay, let's freeze physics here. Please stop waving this thing around randomly. Okay, so for now, what we're going to do is we are going to control from here. And then we're going to go over to relative velocity minus. We need to kill our relative velocity here. Absolutely. I'm still wanting to dock these up as it is. So we're going to bring this around. And we're going to burn this direction for the moment. There we go. And we're going to bring this right on around again. Actually, we'll just do kill rot here. That's fine. So we need to get this... We need to get this docked up, right? So that means that this guy needs to get flipped around. So how do we want to do that? Well, I think that our best bet for doing that is actually... Let's see, I'm just thinking here. Do we want to reconstruct this over here with an EVA? That is a possibility. I don't think it's a good option, but it is an option. We can bring this right on around like so. And get ourselves a little bit of speed towards the target. We need very, very, very little here. Okay. Relative velocity minus. Let's bring this around. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of an issue, but I just want to get a little closer here for the time being. That is the current goal, is to just get ever so slightly closer. So we're just going to let this come on in for a moment. Okay. We're, I think, still wanting to come closer. We want to get into manipulation range here, right? Okay, so just something like that. We're on kill rot here, and I want to rotate us around. I want to stop the station from rotating, please. I'm just going to put it on kill rot. And let's reset the physics on it. I want to rotate us around a bit to around here. I want to control from here. Oh, that changes our directionality. Right. Okay. Let's freeze that physics. Okay, we're definitely drifting a bit here. We're going to need to rotate this around. Can we... Why is this... I suppose it's because we're controlling from there. Okay, we control from here then. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, so we'll bring this right on around like... No, this is actually correct over here. We need to open this hinge a little bit, but we need to flip this around, right? We definitely do need to flip this guy. And this is going to be awkward with this amount of wiggling, but... Ooh. Bring it right around in there. Freeze those physics. I don't want this thing waggling around quite like that. Okay, so for now the question is, how do we go about flipping it? Well, we're going to need to let go of it. Oh, that's moving fast. Okay, I did not expect it to move like that. Bob, I need you to EVA. Come on, Bob. We gotta go get it. Okay. Yeah, I expected it to just kind of sit there. And it definitely didn't. Okay. So let's go grab this. I've missed it. Okay. Come on, Bob. I just want to stop it from moving here. There we go. Now then, we need to flip it around. And it is currently flipping, but I want to move it this direction a little bit. Bob, unhook yourself, please. Bob, unhook yourself, please. Okay, now it's flipping too much. Okay. Let it come around. Go get it, Bob. Oof. Bob, get yourself under control. Bob? Come on. This is not going well. Okay, Bob. I need you to stop. Okay. We're just going to be moving this right back in. But yeah, I expected the arm to just kind of drop it, not expel it away. Which is what it did. Okay. So I think we're coming back towards the station now. Ish. Yeah, we definitely are. And we're going to need to arrest this momentum quite soon here. Okay. Something kind of like this. Now we're going the wrong way, I think. Okay. We don't want to take out that solar panel if we can at all help it. So, get this thing back over to the shuttle, please, Bob. Okay. So something like this, we've got it kind of under control. It is still tumbling here, and we're just going to try to stop it from tumbling, if at all possible. I don't know how possible that really is, though, at this juncture. We're going back up. Please don't be going up. Okay. Please just stop. Well, I might have to chase this for a while. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have Bob... Bob, please stop getting caught on it. Go the correct direction, please, Bob. Thank you. So I'm going to stop the recording here for a moment, and we'll be back once I've got this thing a little bit more under control. You can do it, Bob. You can do it. See you guys in just a moment. Okay, so here we are. We have retrieved the module. I don't know if it's angling the correct direction. However, I have discovered that apparently this servo down here is not attached to this hinge, which is interesting. I'm not sure exactly what the ramifications of that for this are, but we do definitely need to rotate these a bit together here. We can see that we're definitely going to be a little bit off on our angling because of that, but let's see what we can do here. We're maybe a little bit close. We'll need to move our rotation here out this direction, I think, in order to make this work a little bit better. So we'll move down over here for now. No, stop it. Don't go to relative velocity minus. Stop it. Okay, we're just going to position right about here. And then we're going to bring this angle down. I want to rotate this over a little bit. And then we want to angle this backwards. Boy, that's a lot of wiggling. Okay. I mean, that's just kind of endemic to KSP, right? So I want to continue to rotate this guy a bit. And we're just going to need to bring this on out. If only we could rotate this, or, you know, the whole arm. That would be good, too, if we could rotate the whole arm. This is close enough at this point. I think we're going to have to just construct this, unfortunately, because this rotation servo here isn't working. I feel like it should be connected, but it definitely isn't. So we're just going to construct this. It's fine. It's not actually a problem. So this is what we're going to do for right now. We're just going to go into build mode. We're going to grab this docking port and rotate it to hopefully snap it onto here. Anytime you want to rotate would be nice. Bill, stop. Okay. There we go. No snap? It does not want to snap onto there. I guess it snaps on in this direction, but that's exactly the opposite that it needs to be. But that does actually reset our rotation here. So we should just be able to do that now. Perfect. Now the question is, do we have to do the same here? And the answer is probably yes. Oh, now we're inside of this. Okay, Bill. Please drift on through. Anytime you want to get out of here, Bill, that would be great. We can't move him while we're in this part mode, although we could just do this, I suppose. Placing it in space there, and then attaching it. There we go. Next, I'm going to grab this docking port, and I want to just attach it over here as a temporary thing. Then I'm going to grab this structural fuselage, putting it right there, and then the docking port goes... If I can get this rotated correctly. Maybe. We can maybe get it rotated correctly. It doesn't want to snap on there. Oh, we had it there for a moment. Come on, docking port. You can do it. Snap on there. There you go. Okay, it definitely slid a little bit as we were putting it on. So I would like to maybe make that a little bit more precise here, if at all possible. Now it definitely tries to slide down. I guess that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so I would have docked it up with the arm there, except that we can't rotate the arm at the base. That's something that we'll have to fix. For now, Bill's going to get on in, and at this point, we're just going to have to grab this because we have the wrong docking port here, right? So we're just going to have to grab on. So we're just going to change our target angle here to be about here. Let's change our rotation, although really we should be dropping our extension down first. Then we change our rotation here. Let's see. I think we're going to need to change our pivot here. And we definitely want to dock back up to this thing, right? No doubt about it. So I'm just changing our angling. Bring this around to 0. Okay, let's go to relative velocity minus right now, because we have picked up a tiny amount of drift here. So let's just alter that a wee bit. And actually, this angling is kind of interesting. Oh, that was a lot. Okay, so I just barely tapped here, and we got 0.3 meters per second out of it. That's a lot, no doubt about it. Let's bring this right on back around. I want to kill our relative velocity, no doubt about that. So for now, we're just going to position ourselves here. Okay, something about like that will do. So that's okay. We now want to rotate ourselves around like so. This doesn't have to be a perfect docking maneuver. So we're just going to bring it on over. For the time being, I'm going to retract this arm. And now we're just going to line up approximately like this. That's pretty close, actually. Yeah. Let's bring it right on in. Are we missing on that side? Yes, we are. Okay. So we need to bring it over like so. And we're docked. Phenomenal. Okay, so now we're going to refuel here. I don't think that we need to bring in any more fuel than just this single tank. And I'm actually going to pull the fuel from these 2 tanks as well for the time being. So we're just going to say in from here, and we're going to pull in all of that fuel. There we go. And that should be more than enough fuel to bring us home. In future flights, we will have significantly more fuel than this, but that'll do for right now. Now, it is past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. However, actually, I'll wait to pay us for this until after we have returned this flight. That'll be fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.